that?
A pattern of lights over Paterson, New Jersey on Monday night caused a bit of a stir with residents on the ground, all trying to make sense of the unidentified flying objects.
There's a lot of them, look. There's a lot of them.
So excited about this. The planet's aligned for our next guest. He's a science rock star, a pop culture icon, one of the smartest men in the world.
And he has agreed to come and speak with us. We don't know why, but we are very excited. He's sharing his wisdom with everyone in his Emmy Award-winning show, Cosmos. If you haven't seen it, you have to. Possible worlds helping make sense of the universe and our place in it. We are talking none other than Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. We have been so excited for you to join us. Okay, before we get to your new show.
First, what do you mean you don't know why? I grew up with Channel 11, okay?
Did you?
Just
because you grew up in the
let that
Bronx.
be known. Okay, born and raised in the Bronx, so I feel like you're family. Just
all right,
so
well,
you know.
we're going to call you family, and you know that. We're going to put that on our resume, in fact. Can we talk to you just a little bit about the Hayden Planetarium? Because it was shut down due to COVID, right? And it reopened a few weeks ago. How does it feel to be back?
Well, so no, the museum opened, but we still closed our theaters.
Right.
And so there's an IMAX theater, there's some small other venues where people had gathered closely. So we're still holding back on that until we get higher level clearance and we're in close communication with other museums so that we have sort of best practice for our visitors. But we're a large museum with very large halls.
Yes.
And so we cordoned off a few of the things that are touchscreen and that sort of thing. And people were very appreciative of that, actually. And so I think we're doing very well. We've been open now for 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
And with the reduced
of course,
rate
capacity.
Capacity, I should say, yes. So, but the museum is still there. It's beloved. I mean, I went there when I was a kid. My first night sky was the Hayden Planetarium.
Right.
And a little weird that I'm now like the director of it.
Well, it's awesome
But
at the same time.
I bet it was everyone's first night sky in New York because we don't have a relationship with the night sky.
It's true.
Buildings and pollution and lights and all that prevents a person from communing with the cosmos.
Right. I was listening to you on a podcast recently. You were on Smartless, and it was amazing to hear you talk about the stars, right? And and this is true. I don't know. Just remind me. If by the time a star actually reaches us and being able to see it, has that star already died?
Well, for some, that's true. Okay. So, but stars live a long time. So here's an example. The two of you are separated, looks like about 8-10 feet, okay? So you don't see each other as you are. You see each other as you were 10 billionths of a second ago.
Oh, wow.
You're not worrying, is she still alive? Because she lives much longer than the time that has elapsed since the light travel time. So most stars, their distance is not so large that they're probably dead. No, only some of them, the ones that don't live very long, they have surely died. And by the way, that information that they've died is en route, right?
Yes.
So you see the star thinking it's a normal star, and then bam, the
There
star
you go.
explodes, but it exploded 1,000 years ago.
And that's why we love you, because you break it down in terms that we can understand, because it can be really far out, literally, for us to be able to grasp
and
all
above
of
our
this.
heads.
Yes, exactly. But speaking of space, I got to ask a question a lot of people want to know. I mean, are we the only life forms out there, or are there indeed aliens? And I'm not talking about like amoeba and little bitty pieces of life. I'm talking about...
What you got against amoeba? If it's microbes on another planet, it's alien life. But I'm
talking about intellectual
We're
life.
talking about a UFO because, there was these folks the other day in New Jersey thought they looked up, they thought they saw a UFO. And so I was looking at your quotes once, and you said perhaps
That's because it's in New Jersey.
Well, hey, do not smack New Jersey. There it is.
Yes, look at the UFO.
You once said we were never visited by aliens because they maybe looked upon Earth and decided there's no sign of intelligent life. So do you not believe in aliens? What's going on here?
Yeah, no. So, okay, what the video right there is like the famous Tic Tac video. This is a fuzzy object and monochromatic video recording from an F-18 fighter pilot for the Navy. Okay, so where I'm coming from, do you realize how many photos and videos of high resolution are uploaded to the internet every day? 6 billion. I just checked with someone from Google.
Wow.
6 billion. And you're telling me your best evidence of an alien visiting from another planet is fuzzy monochromatic Navy video? Excuse me. Give me something better than that.
You know
So
what,
if
though?
anyone would have seen it, it would have been you, right? Or those who search the stars.
Well, yes. So, by the way, my people, we look up all the time, and we also have a pretty good sense of the things that can fool you. For example, Venus was once in the evening sky, okay, but a police cruiser thought he was chasing a UFO crossing back and forth across it, and he said, "I'm on the hunt, but calling it in." And it turns out he was on a curvy road. And so he thought that a UFO was crossing back and forth that he was chasing. And so the mind is not the best data-taking device that's out there. That's why we have science, right?
Yes.
So
Trust in science.
I would love to meet the aliens. Don't get me wrong.
Right?
I just hope they don't visit Comic-Con.
Apparently, you only have to go to New Jersey, my friend, to see them, all right? So I want to talk about the third season of the show, Cosmos, because it's such an impressive show. It was originally hosted by Carl Sagan back in 1980. So obviously, there's so many. We have so many questions for you. Obviously, so many people interested in this, right?
Yeah, I mean, the universe, yeah.
Do we? And I wanted to talk about the one thing you said, too, that the good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. And
so that's the quick version of a longer, sort of more fleshy statement, which is science establishes what is objectively true in the world. And you do that by repeated measurements that are consistent with each other. And you say, okay, we have a new result. And here it is. You put it in the books and you're good with that. In science, when on the frontier, what can happen is it can extend that understanding. Okay, so generally when we're fighting about things, it's about some new idea that might or might not extend what is already established. And so Earth goes around the sun. Earth is round.
Right.
Round.
Hey, I'm going to bring in the whole crew. One last question, though, before we let you go. How in the world are you coming to us from outer space right now without an astronaut suit on? How is this possible?
The universe follows me. It doesn't.
Of course.
This was wherever I go. That's where.
How do you feel, by the way, there's this rumor that you could be taken over for Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to do that in a parallel universe, because who's not a fan of Jeopardy, particularly in my world in which I grew up, where knowledge was valued.
Yeah.
Okay. So Alex Trebek, in a way, is kind of a patron saint of nerds. So, but I'm doing astrophysics. I can't just become a game show host.
So it's not going to happen. You're telling us it's not going to happen.
No, it was true that it was a rumor, but it's not true that it's real, right?
Okay.
Right, but it's not real. No.
Maybe.
All right.
I love the show. By the way, I've been a clue. I've even been a clue.
I know.
I've read Daily Double Clues, and my name has been one of the clues.
You're a rock star.
I mean, from Bronx High School of Science to Jeopardy, and now the universe follows you. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, what a pleasure it has been
thank you.
to have you today. Can you just please come back?
Yes.
Okay. No, thank you. You know how to reach me, and I'm here,
Yes.
and I'm local, so
Because don't you worry, I'm going to come find you.
Watch out.
Thank you.
Security.
I'm in the universe. Find me in the
Seriously.
universe.
I'm looking forward to your new season 2. Cosmos airs on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much for
you.
hanging out with
got
us
it.
this morning.
Guys.
So this is a phenomenon that's baffled us for generations. Objects have been seen streaking across the sky at lightning speeds and with maneuvers that are simply hard to replicate. UFOs, they remain enveloped in a mystery. So what are these objects? Are they aliens, military adversaries, or just our eyes playing tricks on us?
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Look at that thing. It's rotating.
Images like these appear to be science fact, confirmed by the Pentagon as objects of unknown origin. Videos and photos being studied as part of an investigation that may produce answers as early as next week. Until now, such sightings have been mired in secrecy.
My gosh.
But through a congressional appropriation in December, the Pentagon was mandated to establish the Unidentified Phenomenon Task Force to gain insight into the nature and origins of UFOs and make their findings public.
Unfortunately, there's a lot more we don't know than we do know. The good news is that we're finally taking it seriously.
News Elizondo spent 10 years investigating UFOs for the Pentagon until 2017, when he went public to alert the country and Congress to the importance of the UFO mystery.
In some cases, yeah, there could be a readily explainable explanation for it. But from my experience, there's a lot that aren't and are very compelling.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Much of the video for this report comes from our Las Vegas sister station's Mystery Wire platform and investigative filmmaker Jerry Corbell, who secured the leaked unclassified images. In 2019, a naval officer using a night vision device recorded what appeared to be pyramid-like images hovering 700 feet above the fantail of the USS Russell.
This is not something that we own. They were, shaped non-aerodynamically, like pyramids. These are flying pyramids.
The USS Russell was one of 5 naval ships based in San Diego that were buzzed by drone-like objects of unknown origin.
Took off.
The USS Omaha, a sophisticated surveillance vessel, found itself under surveillance over a period of 3 days. As many as 14 objects surrounded the warship. The recorded images show one 6-foot diameter sphere that traveled at high speeds before vanishing from radar and seemingly crashing into the ocean.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
They never found where these things came from or went to. So they don't know where they're launching from or going from.
Just as mysterious are these sightings by Navy pilots off the coast of Virginia 2 years ago. The Pentagon has confirmed the objects are unknown. Still not known is the object performing erratic maneuvers around an airport runway in Acadia, Puerto Rico in 2013. At one point, it appears to have crashed into the water at 100 miles per hour, traveled underwater, then emerged, splitting into 2 pieces. While UFOs are often known as aliens in pop culture, skeptics offer a range of explanations for the phenomenon, like lights in the sky playing tricks with our eyes. But UFO specialist Elizondo on CBS 60 Minutes is concerned about another possibility.
We're going through our due diligence. Is it some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed?
We don't know if it's some other country that's doing it, and we need to know the answer to that question. Simple.
And that answer, it could come as early as next week. That's the deadline set for the task force to make its report public. Some experts believe they'll simply acknowledge that there is something up there, but still don't know exactly what it is. And for those wondering if this is some advanced drone technology from one of our adversaries, well, the military experts suggest that they are asking the same questions about us.
Government has pretty much laughed off the idea of a UFO, right? But that changed on Friday when the Director of National Intelligence released a congressionally mandated report.
The report cites 143 cases since 2004 that the government cannot explain, but perhaps our next guest can. He is Mick West, a writer and debunker of bogus science. He says he's investigated hundreds of claims over the years since he sold his video game company and has had the time. So Mick, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, glad to be here.
Okay, hundreds of cases. What are you looking for in these cases to debunk this idea that that truly was a UFO?
Well, when you analyze a UFO case, what you're really trying to do is figure out what is actually being shown on screen or what people are actually describing. So you take the image on screen, like here we have a flashing green triangle, and you try to figure out what possibly could create that image. And in this case, it turned out to be a thing called bokeh, which is an effect caused by the triangular aperture in certain types of camera lenses, which actually makes out of focus things look like they are triangles.
Okay.
So someone here had a night vision camera and they just pointed it up, and some of the things you're seeing in that scene are actually stars. These things at the start of the scene are actually the planet Jupiter earlier in that scene. So you can do this analysis and figure out what's going on.
So you seem to know what the answer is to this one, but in the whole report there were a lot of unanswered questions, right? Not a lot of conclusions.
Sure.
Is it just hot air? Let me ask you first and foremost, do you believe? You're an investigator, do you believe?
Well, I believe that there's aliens out there in the universe. The big question is if there are any aliens here. And that, unfortunately, is where we have a dearth of evidence. We really don't have very strong evidence. And that is something that this report, I think, really reflected. I think it's actually a very good report in that it accurately relates the actual situation that we have here, that there are things in the sky that are unidentified, but we don't really have very good evidence that they are anything particularly amazing. And you'll notice the report doesn't even mention aliens. They talk about other things that are much more mundane, things like airspace clutter, birds and balloons, and drones and things like that. Things that are actual issues. They're important things to identify and deal with, but they're not aliens.
Okay, well, speaking of aliens, you just said you do believe that there are aliens out there. Do you have evidence of that? And are you talking about, higher thinking aliens, or are you talking about like simple life forms?
What are you talking?
Well, it's really about a numbers game here. We know how big the universe is. We know that this galaxy alone has billions of stars and that there are billions of galaxies. So it seems inevitable that if you go through the entire universe, you're going to find other life out there. The problem is we don't really have any evidence. You look out and we can do things like study the atmosphere of other planets for some kind of signature of life. We haven't detected that. We would think other civilizations would put things around their suns and we could detect the suns kind of dimming. We don't see that either. So there's no real evidence.
Okay.
But really people are interested in the evidence of aliens visiting. And there we have a lot of ambiguous evidence, but nothing really definitive.
Let me ask you this, because there's this idea, right, that they're always around some sort of military ship or a military plane, catches it, in a distant black and white grainy image. Why specifically in those military areas?
Well, this is something they actually talk about in the report. They say that clusters have emerged, but then they go on to talk about why that is. And there's a thing called the bias, like reporting bias or a confirmation bias. People around military areas are much more prone to report things simply because they are on the lookout and they have high-tech information. So if you're a guard outside a nuclear base and you see a light in the sky, you're much more likely to report it than just some guy in the street. So we get this kind of reporting bias where it seems like there are more reports. And pretty much all of this study was done by the Navy, and it was focused on Navy training areas. And so they focused pretty much on reports by Navy pilots. So it seems like UFOs are following Navy pilots around. But really, it's just the report was following Navy pilots around, and this is what the Navy pilots saw.
Okay.
All right, I want to bring in Ben because he's got a burning question.
Isn't it a point, like, if there were aliens visiting our world or whoever they are, wouldn't they land and get out of their ships and be like, hell, wouldn't they want to make contact other than just kind of like popping in and out? Wouldn't they want to establish themselves in civilization and have a I wouldn't want to have a conversation with us.
Like a higher form of alien, right?
Well, any alien, any kind of space.
If it's like an amoeba or something.
Amoeba, I don't know if it's flying the ship. I don't know if an amoeba is flying the ship, but like if it's like an actual being, wouldn't that being want to establish some kind of communicative
there's a lot here on Earth, yeah.
Yeah, you would certainly think so, but we can't really speculate what the aliens' motives are. But if they are visiting us, they really seem to be being very cagey about what they're doing.
Yeah, they're too subtle. Like that's why I'm with you. Like I think a lot of these things are just flare.
We had Neil deGrasse Tyson on who said it's 2021, right? And there's so many cameras, Ring doorbells, there's surveillance cameras. Everybody's got a cell phone, and all we have are these grainy images in a distant. Which makes him think that there may be something out there, but maybe not.
Yeah, and they're always grainy, no matter which camera you have. If you have a cell phone camera, then they're like a few 100 feet away and grainy. If you have your super telephoto camera, like they do in the Navy, then they're many miles away and grainy. And I think the fact that we don't have these close-up images is a very good indication that what we're simply seeing is just the random things that we happen not to be able to identify.
Yeah, because it's like, maybe their ship can't get through our atmosphere. Right. Who knows? Can we just see the back of your head for a second?
Make sure you're real.
So make sure there's no zipper. He's not turning around. He's not plugged in.
He's like, I'm done with you people. I'm going back to my alien searching.
It's all real here.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on this morning
and putting up with us today.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a fascinating topic, and hopefully we will find something, but not yet.
Well, when we do, we'll be calling you, Mick. All right?
Okay.
Let us know if you find something.
All right.
Now keep looking.
Okay.
Can you imagine talking to that guy during Christmas? Well, if Santa Claus is real, then how do you expect him to going through all the, just like breaking all the stereotypes, all the people, everything people speculate
Ben,
about.
kids are watching right now.
I know Santa Claus is real, and aliens. Hey, come on, there can't be that many galaxies in the universe and not have other life on these planets. I think, but like I said, I think if they were this close to the Earth, they would come and get out of their ships and have a pizza.
Well, what is that?
A pattern of lights over Paterson, New Jersey on Monday night caused a bit of a stir with residents on the ground, all trying to make sense of the unidentified flying objects. Louis Stevens, who was on the ground filming the spectacle, says he lost count of what he called flying white circles that he says morphed into different shapes.
You see it on YouTube and you be like, it's always somewhere out in the Nevada desert somewhere. The shock was more like, is this really real? Like, are we really looking at what we think we're looking at? Headed toward those.
The mysterious lights dazzled the skies over downtown Paterson for more than 5 minutes, Stevens said, ending their run over nearby Garrett Mountain. Pix 11 News sent the video to the Federal Aviation Administration, where an official reviewed it, checking in with local air traffic. We were told nothing unusual was reported, while theories on the ground are now running rampant, especially after a government report released over the summer acknowledged that intelligence officials cannot explain such sophisticated movements in the skies. One likely premise leans more toward drones.
At first, I was kind of puzzled.
Victor Chu, the founder, director, and executive producer of Skytech One, a drone-based photography company behind numerous award-winning productions, says based on his knowledge, it appears the flying objects were part of a drone lighting show practice session that went wrong.
If you look at a light show, they're all synced together and they're controlled by a computer. And if you looked at the video, you'll see that they're maintaining a formation for the most part, even though it was kind of scrambled a little bit.
Now, whether they were drones or some supernatural phenomenon remains unclear. Officials are urging members of the public who do see this type of activity to report it to the National UFO Reporting Center, or if they feel their life or property are in danger, to call police. In Paterson, I'm Andrew Ramos. Pix 11 News.
And this was the second congressional hearing in a year into the mystery surrounding those objects in the sky we've known as UFOs. The government calls them unidentified anomalous phenomena, or simply UAPs. Today's hearing heard from a whistleblower. He claimed the government has information about extraterrestrial life and is in possession of a non-human craft.
Have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
Without providing details, former Pentagon intelligence officer David Grush testified that the U.S. likely has been aware of non-human extraterrestrial activity since the 1930s. The Pentagon has categorically denied those claims. Unidentified flying objects have mystified us for decades, and recent sightings over the U.S. have been verified by military and commercial pilots, including former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, who told the House Oversight Committee,
UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security.
Another former Navy pilot told about his sightings from the ground of a UFO, something the likes of which he's never seen before.
What we saw with 4 sets of eyes over a 5-minute period, still, there's nothing, we have nothing close to it. It was amazing to see.
How do you know that these were not our aircraft?
These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds.
I think it's far beyond actually our material science that we currently possess.
Do you believe UAPs pose a potential threat to our national security?
Yes.
The witnesses claimed the government has been secretive about its knowledge of these mysterious objects and said there should be more transparency.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
Grush, who said he has feared for his life because of his whistleblowing, claimed to have knowledge of the location of the UAPs, but did not reveal them during the hearing.
Right now, we need a system where pilots can report without fear of losing their jobs. There is a fear that the stigma associated with this topic is going to lead to professional repercussions.
So you could say the mystery deepens. 3 seemingly credible witnesses telling their stories versus government denials of their claims. Now, this is one of those issues that has bipartisan support. Simply, they want to put pressure on the highest levels of the government and military to be more transparent and release even more information about those mysterious UFOs.